let's talk about Fallen, 1998 movie Fallen. Wow, probably one of the best movies of the late 90s. If it were like a Twilight Zone episode, it'd probably be one of my favorite Twilight Zone episodes. And it's basically what it is. It's a very long Twilight Zone episode. Speaking of which, it's funny because every time I watch horror movies, I can only, like, the baseline to me is Twilight Zone. And Fallen, it's obviously star-studded cast. You got Denzel Washington, John Goodman, Donald Sutherland, James Gandolfini's in it. That cute Jewish chick from the late 90s. He was in a bunch of stuff in the late 90s. But the story is about this cop, no-nonsense cop named Hobbs. And he discovers this criminal. First of all, you get the fantastic introduction to Christopher Maloney. Is that the guy in the beginning of the time? Doing the Stone song. That was a great intro. It introduces you to the character, and then you find out, oh, he's a demonic spirit who can, like, take other people's by touching. And so it's like, after I saw this movie, I was like, no touch. Don't touch me. I don't want to wake up, 20 minutes from now in another part of town. Because think about the people they possess, And so it's kind of scary because Hobbs is a cop. And there's a couple scenes that I think are just perfect. Like, you see the scene with James Gandolfini and Denzel Washington. That's in the first act. And this is one of my favorite scenes of any kind of, like, cop, movie or anything like that. And he sits down and he's like, we're doing imported tonight. We're drinking imported beers, AKA expensive. And Hobbs sits down and is like, no, I'll have a Bud. He's like, no, get something fancy. At least I'm buying. At least get like a Bud Ice or a Bud Dry. You remember those kinds of things back in the 90s? Anyway. Bud Dry? Yeah. And he's like, no, I'll just have a Bud. And then James Gandolfini says to him, it's like, everyone always says, all these other cops, they always say, Hobbs don't take no cream. Hobbs don't take no cream. Is that true? And what he's referring to, obviously, is bribes. You don't take any bribes. And so, obviously, James Gandolfini's character is, like, buying this expensive beer because he's flush, And and Hobbs has a great line. He goes, I don't take cream, Lou, and I don't judge. Good line. And it just kind of sets up the nature of that character, because you need to know, like, the nature of the character of the protagonist of the movie. And you kind of get the nature, through all the floating cams of the spirit of the fallen, which you find out it's a fallen angel that can transmit through people. And you get to know these characters. You get to like them. And so Hobbs is dealing with this supernatural threat in this movie. And he has to, like, report to his boss. And his boss is like, Hobbs is telling his boss, Donald Sutherland, what's happening. And Donald Sutherland, he believes Hobbs. He believes the guy. He's like his best detective. He's like, I believe you, but I can't go to the press with mysterious supernatural thing. And there's a line Donald Sutherland says, the world has to make sense. And so if there's going to be a news article about it, or if there's going to be an arrest made, it has to make sense. And that's the nature of our world, and that's, I don't know, in many ways, that was, like, even more terrifying, is it made Hobbs feel alone when dealing with this supernatural entity. I know it's an old movie and it's incredibly popular. I know most of you have seen it. So, I mean, you have to know I'm gushing over this one. It's 13 of 13 stars, hands down. It is probably the greatest Twilight Zone episode ever, script ever. And the ending, when you stick an ending, that's the kind of thing that ends you a 13th star. You know what I'm saying? Good movie.
The madman